live stream. This is a live show, and this is like you do it on YouTube. Your channel's probably about to blow up because
of you.
Because I'm sorry for the fame that you're gonna have after this.
I've been ready for it. It's okay. I've been ready for that.
I got a lot of people really seem to follow. I'm really genuinely not trying to brag, but the last video I did had 124 views. So
what was the topic?
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay, but sometimes topics have a lot to do with it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, topics definitely carry the video sometimes.
Yeah, it was about Halle Berry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it went pretty well. People really liked it.
From Monsters Ball or Catwoman?
Oh, from X-Men. It was from X-Men. That was
a movie. Right. She was an X-Men. She was an
X-Men. Back then. So yeah, get ready for that. It's exciting.
I'm ready.
Woohoo! Yippee!
Very epic intro.
Dude, it was so good. That was me and you jumping like, woohoo, yippee!
No.
We already got people in the comments who are very excited to be here. Taylor Brown says that he comes only for my personality, which I hate that phrasing. And then David Codd says that the D stands for special guest OMAR. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking today. I'm pouring a little Dr. Pepper here to get going. You have a Dr. Pepper milkshake, right?
No, I do not. I don't drink. I actually don't drink Dr. Pepper. I don't drink soda. I know it's weird.
Guys, it was a really fun video. I'm glad that we could do this today.
Quit stealing my material. That's what I do to my guests.
So we're going to be talking about our favorite Spider-Man stories. Today, the D and Super Squad.
I came ready with toys, and you want to talk about Spider-Man. You're like, let's talk about toys.
We'll do the toys. The D
got a bunch of toys, man.
For Dorkside Toys. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got in those toys.
Oh, it's a lot because Tyler has been wanting me to get back into X-Men Legends. He's a piece of crap, by the way. Like this guy, he's what I call a pusher.
Do I strike you as somebody who would encourage you to spend money on?
Absolutely. Why am I buying these things? I used to have some of these, man. So I got a bunch of X-Men Legends is what why am I getting this, dude? I don't want to do this. Okay, I'll tell you how it all started. It all started with my daughter, Alicia. For my birthday, bought me one Wolverine figure. One Hoxpox Wolverine. Wolverine's my favorite character, and I was like, oh man, baby, thank you so much. It was so sweet. Now I could have been like a good father and kept that one Wolverine that will always remind me of my daughter. But no, instead I'm like, well now I gotta go buy everything. Now I gotta buy all these.
How many figures are in that box, dude?
Oh, don't even talk to me about how many figures are in a box. Dude, shut up. You're the worst. And I start asking you questions, and I knew better than to start asking you questions because, I'm like, hey, just out of curiosity, if I go down and get Hoxpox, how many are there going to be? And you're like, oh, dude, I've got you. And you start answering way too many questions, and you know where I'm going with this. Because anybody that is a collector knows when you start asking questions and you start going, you're looking at something over there, right? It's like if it's physically, you're looking at the Wolverine figure and you're like, I like that, and I think I like it enough to start doing a little research. And whenever you start doing research,
dude, the minute you look up a YouTube video or you go to eBay, it's too late. Like you're too late or whatever it is.
I didn't look up a YouTube video. I went to you and I said, okay, just hypothetically speaking, if I was to get into Marvel Legends figures, I know Toy Biz used to own them. Now there's Hasbro. Now that's the thing. I had all the Toy Biz and I sold all of them.
You sold them all.
He's a piece of crap. He knows he is. He knows what he does.
Taylor's upset because Taylor also last year was like, I don't understand action figures. I'm not getting any action figures. And last night he sent me the awesomest photo that he took of an action figure. That he's been taking some action figure photos, some really dope photos, with his figures. So he not only has he gotten into action figures, he's gotten into figure photography.
Photography, wow.
That's it. OmniBuddy knows that blaming your kid is the best way to get away with anything in your house.
Absolutely.
Oh, baby, my daughter gave this to me. What am I supposed to do? Say no to the next 500 figures because she gave me the one for my birthday?
And You know, if I have to have Wolverine, I gotta have. What's up, Omar Reyes? I gotta have them all.
You have to. You have
all the X-Men, right? He's gonna get lonely. He needs Jean, and Jean needs Cyclops, and if Cyclops can't be alone without, Professor X, and Professor X formed the X-Men, and therefore I have to get that Sentinel. That's Kickstarter.
Hayden doesn't think you bought enough.
I'm not done yet.
Dude, that figure's so good.
Dude,
figure's so good.
He comes with Death's mask. That's awesome when he was the fourth horseman of Apocalypse.
That's really cool, dude. I tell you what I want. They need to make a Wolverine. Remember when Wolverine was a horseman of the Apocalypse?
Yeah.
We need that figure.
That was garbage, but I'd buy it. That story sucked, man. The 12.
Oh. Dude, the 12 was, I was like, oh, dude, the 12 was my childhood. How dare you?
Yeah, okay. That's why you like it. Dude, that story was balls. Look at that. Look at that. Jean is so hot.
Look at her hair.
Look, yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's what you're looking at.
Exactly what I'm looking at. Her hair. Holy moly, man. And she comes with 3 different heads? Cyclops, boring ass, only comes with 1.
No one cares. Who in their right mind would buy that 2-pack and be like,
look, okay, all right.
Oh my gosh.
This is how bad it's gotten, Tyler. I hate you, dude. So everybody knows that the cuckoo. Now there's 5 cuckoos, right?
Yeah.
There's 5 of them.
How many do you have?
3, because they all come with different heads. I suck so much, dude. What is wrong with me? I sold all my Toy Biz Legends. I said, I'm done. I don't want this anymore. I'm out. Because that's what I do, right? In order to feed the hobby, I sell another part of my hobby.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
So 5 years from now, I'm going to be selling these. I'm going to be like, and then I'm going to be asking you about Mattel Marvel Legends 5 years after that.
Dude.
Oh, dude, it's not over. Hold on. Got the Walgreens Magic.
Oh, that figure's so good. That's
right.
I need to see the New Mutants movie. I just realized I hadn't seen that yet.
Is that Lockheed? She come with Lockheed? What is that?
Yeah, dude, she comes with Lockheed.
That's not Lockheed, dude. That's a little dragon.
Lockheed, right? No, that's just like a fire dragon. I don't know who that is.
That's not Lockheed.
That's not Lockheed. Lockheed's is purple. They have a Lockheed though. He's purple. I think he came with Kitty Pryde.
He did. He's in the Juggernaut wave. See, I know too much.
You know this.
I know too much.
You know this, huh?
This is your fault.
How do you know this, my friend?
All right, I got Psylocke from the Apocalypse. Look at this.
This is the greatest unboxing of all time.
How expensive these were, dude. This goes like, I need a new car. You know what I do for a living? I do YouTube for a living. I should be buying toys.
You don't need a new car. You need
you were like, you got a stimulus check, Omar. That's what it means. You give back.
That's right, dude. Put jobs in the hands of people.
Am I back in the toy? I'm not back. I'm not back.
Oh, he's back, man. You never seen John Wick when the guy's like, people have been asking me, am I back? Oh, I'm back. That's Omar right now.
That's New Mutants. I'm sorry. This is X Factor Multiple Man. Now, when I have 4 of these, that's when I'm back at the toy game. Right now, I only have 1. That's all I need. I only need 1 Jamie Madrox.
Because I've got 4, and I would say that's the magic number.
Shut up.
It's a man who makes multiples of himself.
I'll freaking scatter his heads around him. I got Sabretooth, which is a cool figure, and then Storm. Oh, one of my favorite outfits, the Mohawk outfit, Storm.
Oh, so cool, dude.
Now these stupid waves, man. I was working a deal with the guy.
Are there more figures in there?
Just 3 more. Shut up.
This is the greatest day of my life.
Gladiator? Nobody likes Gladiator, but he's such a cool figure. Look at that.
That Gladiator is an awesome figure, dude.
That dude is ready to rip you in half.
He is.
Look at that, man. And Magneto, I do love this Magneto outfit.
Which outfit's your favorite? This one, the House of X, or his classic?
Honestly, if they do an Age of Apocalypse Magneto, that would be cool.
I'm not even going to show you the Mafex Age of Apocalypse that has like head swabs, hand swabs, in scale. It's got a cloth cape that's posable. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's disgusting.
Save it for yourself, please. and then I got Wolvie in his classic outfit, so.
I'm surprised we don't have more versions of classic Wolverine.
I'm good. We don't need any more. Just give me the Build-A-Figure. What is this? Like he comes with Apocalypse's tubes? Oh, thank you, Paul. That's it, though. That's all I got. There goes my stimulus package. Now I have to explain to my wife. I heard that the Reaper from Batman. Is he really? I'd buy the crap out of that.
He's lying, dude. Do not believe Taylor. He's screwing with you, dude.
I'd buy the crap out of that. Omar, I paid a little more than retail for some of these.
Just a smidge, dude. It's fine. Just a tiny bit.
I worked the deal with the guy.
That's right.
No, I don't like the movie figures. That's not for me. But I'm not crapping on anybody that likes them. If that's your thing, that's for you. But for me, I like the comic book versions of the characters.
Yeah, me too.
So Spider-Man stories.
So before we get going, first of all, let me say thank you for gracing us from the high up of your channel and blessing us with the presence way down here. Listen, this channel can barely keep the lights on. Okay, that's how struggle.
That's because you're wasting it with that stupid sign in the background that's giving people epilepsy.
That sign cost me $12 from Walmart. That was my stimulus purchase. Not all of us can buy.
You're writing it off in your taxes.
Tax write-off. What else am I going to use Super Squad D Live for? Where else am I going to use that? Actually, I was thinking about putting that outside of my office. It was just going to say taxes here. Just flashing in the window.
That would be horrible. Don't do that.
The question everybody wants to know.
Yes.
And I already know the answer to this. But everybody wants to know, why have you not had them print a Dan Slott Spider-Man omnibus? Yeah, why haven't you done it?
Why haven't I done it?
Yeah, you. Why haven't you made them do this?
How much power do you think I have?
For those who don't know, before the show, Omar's about to deny it, but before the show, he was like, listen, I run Marvel. I make reprints. I make them print stuff.
I have never in my life said that. Shut up. You're going to get me in trouble. Somebody's going to capture that part and send it to David.
All 100 viewers of mine are going to be like, I can't believe that Omar does this.
You're trying to cancel OmniDog, and now you're trying to cancel Omar. This is messed up, man. I know you're trying to make your channel grow, but come on. There are better ways of doing it.
It honestly is shocking to me, though, that they haven't done any omnibus of like the last decade of Spider-Man.
What did we get? The last one we got was, let's see,
Straczynski. So I guess are they just going in order? Yes.
No. They're not going in order, man.
They're weird. I want to see a Brand New Day omnibus.
See, I think everybody that I talk to, like most of the time, it's not a Dan Slott omnibus they want. They want a superior Spider-Man omnibus. But me as a complete is like, yeah, but that's like his magnum opus of his like Spider-Man run. I would rather them go from the beginning and go with Brand New Day and then Big Time, get to Superior Spider-Man. But I don't. Dude. Do you know how many books that's huge?
Yeah, that's like what 300 issues. So that would be at least 5 or 6 omnibus.
Oh, we're talking. Well, I mean, you include Superior. You include.
Well, yeah, that's not even counting Superior.
Yeah, that run just because that's 10 omnis right there.
Yeah, well, it's a decade. I mean, it's a decade of storytelling because it started in what, like, Brand New Day came out in 06, something like that, 07.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's the logical place to go.
Well, I think it's the best place. I made a video about this before, but I think it's the best place to start reading Spider-Man for modern Spider-Man because it's a fresh jumping on point. They introduce a lot of new characters. And like people always say, start at Dan Slott's era, but which you can do. I mean, it's a fine starting point, but you miss a lot of the supporting cast that's created in the relationships and how Peter gets to the point where he's working at Modell Industries.
Yeah.
For Max Modell. You miss all that stuff by not starting at Brand New Day, but it sucks because the complete collections are like super out of print now, which is really annoying.
Well, and so do I thought they were going to, I sent them a list of the complete collections that are out of print. So they may or may not reprint them.
Happy birthday, Omar. Hey, could you reprint this book? Here's the books that I want you to reprint.
Okay, talk to me, Tyler.
Right, this is what we need.
I'm legit doing that on my channel though. Like people can go vote. I'm getting tired of getting yelled at. Why there's a misunderstanding. I think that people genuinely believe that I have any say.
Probably because I just said that. Now everyone's gonna clip that and be like.
Now all 4 people watching live.
All 4 people are gonna know. All right, first of all, how dare you? Second of all. We need Ultimate Spider-Man. Can you reprint Ultimate Spider-Man 1?
Done.
We need a Roger Stern Spider-Man.
Done.
Okay, and we need Untold Tales of Spider-Man reprinted.
Done. Man, you don't watch my channel. Okay.
I don't know why people are saying that it's so hard for you to get you to reprint stuff. You just did it. It's easy. Have you guys tried asking him? Maybe you tried asking him. You could get what you want.
Do not ask me.
But yeah, I think that's the best place to start. The Superior Spider-Man was truly his magnum opus. Honestly, I just settle for them to reprint Spider-Verse in a way that makes sense. That hardcover.
Yeah, I don't know who was in charge of that, but man, that was a night. That's one of my least favorite collections. They not including everything, and then just the like putting things out of order. Oh, dude,
it's frustrating because that was one of my. We're going to talk about favorite Spider-Man stories, and that segues into. It didn't make my absolute top favorite Spider-Man moments, but I really loved Spider-Verse. When I read it, when it came out in the correct order you're supposed to read it, that was one of my favorite stories of all time because it brought in so many awesome Spider-Man characters from across the multiverse. And honestly, as an action figure collector, it made me feel better about having all these different costumes and versions of Spider-Man. Because I'm like, hey, there's an in-story reason for all them to be here. This is awesome. I absolutely love that.
Dude, if they could go back and do some of these stories, that would be awesome. So are we talking about favorite Spider-Man stories? Because as you know, I'm a man that comes prepared to everything that I do. I don't do these things called winging it. I don't do these winging it. I don't even know what that means. I script every one of my shows. I have Wikipedia next to me whenever I'm talking about a book and my feelings. I throw a couple of ums in there just to throw people off, to let them know that it's not scripted. So
yeah, you memorized most of your script, actually. I was very impressed by that. You memorized it.
It's called reading. Yeah, reading. Yeah. What are we talking about, dude? You told me we're talking about Spider-Man. I thought best Spider-Man stories.
Just our favorite Spider-Man stories. Just like stories that you love that hold some type of either nostalgia, but not necessarily the best, because like I think for me, I recognize that there's some stories that are quantitatively like really good, but aren't my favorite because I either didn't grow up with them or I read them after the fact. It's kind of like there's some things that definitively are good, like the movie Elektra. Everybody knows that movie is a top tier movie. Now, not everybody likes that movie.
Well, here's the thing, man. You're asking about like why your subscriber rate is so bad. When you make for lack of a better word, stupid ass statements like that, that's kind of where your subscribers will go. Like, this guy's now once you built the subscribers enough, then you can, like, after a year and a half, 2 years, you can be like, Batman Year 2 is the best Batman story. Then because you already got the people and they're like, man, Omar's been right about everything, so maybe he's right about that. And then that's when you're sinisterly laughing inside, going, hey, it's all coming to play now.
It's so good, dude. So what is like the metric 40,000 subscribers? Like once you hit 40,000, you can say what you truly feel.
I think once you hit 10,000, you have enough people hearing you that you can throw in the I like Batman Year 2.
Okay, so tell the people what they want to hear until 10,000, even if I don't believe it. Then tell the people what I truly believe after 10,000. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Bingo.
Okay, I got it.
Bingo. You got it, man. You're going to learn today.
Ryan wants to replace me on this show. We have the astonishing Melanie in here. She's Chip Zdarsky's friend. This is great. Wow.
She's a new subscriber.
In here?
Hey, you just doubled your subscribers. She's a new subscriber.
I mean, at least once a month, somebody comes to my channel and subscribes.
That's pretty good, man.
We've almost met. Dude, we're 8 days away from the next month. I could have a chance of getting 2 subscribers this month. That would be incredible.
Actually, go highlight Hayden's comment. So sell out until 10,000. No. Some people never look, Hayden. Some people never stop selling out. That's why they get to where they are.
That's exactly.
I'm serious, man. Some people never stop selling out. That's why they keep growing, and we kind of slow down a little bit. We get to our comfort zone of like, I'm just going to talk about what I want to talk about.
That's it.
Look, Stan. Just unsubscribe.
I have so many bad things to say about Ryan Sace. This is Ryan Sace, but Ryan,
hey man,
I can't say no. Don't hey man him.
I like that guy.
No. This is going the exact wrong direction that I intended when I highlighted that comment. I thought we were going one way, and you totally took it another, and I just don't feel good about that. So
Arya saying, Jesus, Omar, save some shade for the rest of us. Oh. You know, these people have obviously heard you talk before. Okay.
Unbelievable, dude. What you guys don't know is Omar calls me all the time on the phone. He's like,
all the time. Yes,
he's
sir.
like,
yes, sir.
I need some advice because I want to know, should I buy this many toys or should I not buy this many toys?
My wife is in the chat listening to. Actually, she's heard a lot of these conversations.
Yeah, she's been on the other end of them going.
And 9 times out of 10, I have to lie to her and be like, "Baby, we're talking about taxes. It's very boring." But really, I'm like, "Okay, how many cuckoos do I need to have all?"
How depreciable is this Stepford cuckoo right here? How many years do we have to take to write this off? Yeah, that's what I do too. Like when my wife's walking downstairs, I throw out tax terms really loud. I'll be like, "Yeah, man." I'll be like, "Omar, dude, have you seen the new Marvel Legends Villains Wave? It looks so good. Depreciation. It looks so good. It's really awesome." Yeah. The tax rate's 28% now. Yeah, no, you should totally get the Archangel because it's really good. That's how I get away with things in my house.
And then, and what happens is that when I genuinely have a question about taxes, it never goes that way. It always goes to like, "Oh, you got to get this Build-A-Figure, man," or skip the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure, get the 2-pack, which I did, by the way. I took your advice and I got the Colossus.
Yeah, see, I'm here to help you. To help you.
I feel like you're gonna make me go broke, but whatever. There's a really nice compliment right there.
Where is it?
Flameworks. Tyler is someone who just joined.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Why you spent the last 20 minutes saying JMS what slots the shit?
You know, the truth
is,
I
caught that 2-pack. 2-pack. 2-pack.
Yeah, 2-pack. I loved JMS's run. When I read it when it came out, as I'm sure. Have you been reading comics that long, Omar? But didn't you just start reading comics last year?
Well, I went to the University of Wikipedia. And I've been reading for about a year and a half.
That's cool. It's better just to read the summary and then tell people the summary than it is to actually.
Why do I need to experience these stories? Nah. There's a guy on YouTube that just explains comics to me.
Comics explained, dude. Yeah, you just.
Hey. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I love. I'll shout out his channel. His channel's great, dude. I don't know how he gets away with it because you would think it would be copyright.
Well, YouTube after a certain time doesn't care.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm 100%. If you and I were doing shows like that, those videos would be pulled. Once you get to a certain subscriber, you're making YouTube enough money that they're like, we'll just put our lawyers on his side.
Everyone likes Rob. Rob and the Rob Court at Comics Explained is great, dude. All right, so look, here's the deal about JMS's Spider-Man. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. This video is supposed to be positive on the things we love, but my absolute least favorite story of all time. Any comics out of the thousands of issues I've read is
Trouble. The
terrible story that came from JMS towards the end of his run that ruined my enjoyment of his whole run. That story really was the beginning point to break me from buying single issues.
What's it called?
The story with Gwen Stacy.
Since Past. I hate that.
Since Past, yeah.
I hate Since. Are you serious, or was it One More Day?
No, it was Since Past. No, it actually was Since Past. That genuinely is my least favorite story of all time. Since Past.
I'm glad you said that. Not a lot of people think about that story. A lot of people can get past that story.
I can't do it, man.
And then,
I wasn't a fan of One More Day because I loved Mary Jane. Even though I'll say at One More Day, when they did One More Day, that was the issue that made me stop completely from collecting single issues. They did that. I was like, you know what? This is dumb. I'm out. Which was a big mistake because they made a lot of good books in Brand New Day era, and I didn't give it a chance. But Sins Past is literally the worst story I've ever read. With the twins, Gwen Stacy, her affair.
That killed the kid. That was a slap to the face of her legacy.
It was, and there was just no point to it. There was just like shock value.
Even the original idea still was like, okay, like because the original idea was to have the twins were supposed to be Peter's kids, not Norman, right?
Yeah,
but to have for editorial to jump in there and say, no, we think that it would be better if she had an affair with like his arch nemesis, Norman Osborn, the guy, like
it's awful.
What?
It was just such a bad decision.
And it was just so creepily written too. Like it didn't feel like a Spider-Man story.
No, it didn't. Not at all. And it was like, was that Mike Deodato art? I don't know. Something about the art also.
It was Mike Deodato.
It just like everything about it I hated. I hated the end. I hated every part of it. It was the worst story I've ever read. Where do I buy my KO Transformers?
Wow, you can. It's fun being this, like when you have a channel like this, because you can talk about these things.
These toys,
knockoff.
For those who don't know, honestly, you may not know this. The biggest Transformer fan that I know is Jess Bragg. Jess Bragg is the biggest Transformer expert fan. This guy's about to lose his shake right there.
Like,
but Omar is new to Transformers collecting, I think.
I never heard of it. I don't even know what
can you show your Transformers collection real quick? Can you turn? Is it possible?
Yeah. Hold on.
Because this is insane.
Look
at those Transformers right there. That's incredible.
Like, some of it over there.
That is a few. You had a few Transformers. So the point is, this question would be better answered by the Transformer expert himself, Omar. But I buy mine just from eBay. Is generally where I just get mine because
most of the time they tell you KO too.
Yeah, they do say KO on them. I've gotten a few KOs from eBay. I've only had a bad experience with 2 of them. I actually had one. I had one KO Transformer. You'll like this, Omar. I saw it. I was like, dude, there's a KO Ratchet. This is awesome. Yeah, I got to get this. So I ordered the KO Ratchet. It was like $30. I was like, this is great. Went into my attic to get something out, and I looked down.
You already had
a real Ratchet. I was like, dang it. But then.
This is rich people problem right there.
then the seller who sold it got banned. And I was like,
which happens.
Okay. So it hasn't turned up yet, so I got to contact eBay. But eBay's always been good about giving me my money back and stuff like that.
On knockoff material. This is my wife. I stepped away. This is probably really late to the conversation comment. What man would give up his wife for his aunt who already lived a good life? Aunt May would want him to let her die. Now we're talking about One More Day.
Oh, yeah. That's good. I mean, the story of One More Day, honestly, narratively made almost no sense. Like I thought the idea was interesting to make Peter go back to being single. That just did not feel like the way to do it. Nothing about that story felt like the way to do it, right?
It was odd because I guess I God bless. If we're gonna do it, then I guess I'm okay with her making the decision. MJ.
Yeah.
Not Peter.
Yeah.
Right. But even then it was still bad.
I mean, they were like, how would you do it though? If your goal is to say, all right, let's make Peter single, how in the world do you because you really don't want him to get divorced. Like that's just not a good look. You don't really want to do that.
Right. So you reset the whole timeline.
So you have to reset everything, but then it's like
it doesn't make sense because it doesn't reset everybody because it should have been the entire 616 universe in order for it to make sense. Because how do other people, like this time with New Avengers, does Wolverine still have those memories or not?
Right.
Yeah, I had that similar issue with Jeff Johns' Flash with Wally West. I don't want to give that a spoiler because we're not talking about that, but
yeah.
I had the same kind of issue when something happened in the Flash, but then later on it was explained why they did it. Are we talking about best stories or worst stories?
Yeah. We're talking about the videos about best stories, which we're getting about to get.
Okay. Have we talked about any yet? We're 30 minutes into this conversation.
We talked about a few ones we didn't like.
Okay.
Marcelo says he's not met a woman he would choose over his mom.
Hey.
Moms are awesome, and now that I have a kid of my own, I get that. I wouldn't be upset if my kid chose me over someone else for the rest of her life. I'd be like, yeah, those people suck. Okay, so what is? Oh yeah, that was good. Did you play the PS4 Spider-Man?
I don't have time anymore to play games. I would love to, but video games. I mean, it looks amazing. I'm sure I'll watch a playthrough or something. Or
it's really good. Yeah, you don't have time between your YouTube channel being the #1 YouTube channel on YouTube.
Stop it.
And the amount of action figures time you spend researching it.
There's a lot. There's a lot of that going on.
Those are the primary things that dominate your time.
Look,
and then,
baby, my toys.
To my pictures.
My toys came in, baby. I'm showing my wife. I'm not calling you baby. I promise.
I mean, you have multiple times, but it's fine on stream to not.
That's cool. All right, best Spider-Man stories.
What's your? Give me a few. Just give me one. We'll just go back and forth. You share one, I'll share one. If you copy me, then I'll have to ban you from the channel. It's fine.
There's a lot. Yeah, I'll go with the older ones right now. Let's see. If This Be My Destiny. That's one of my favorite ones.
What did you like about that one?
That's when he came to the realization that, that he is who he is because of all the people that have built him up. So it's not just Uncle Ben. If he were to just give up and die so he's the story, like he's being crushed. He's left under this pile of stuff and he's being crushed and he's about to give up. Then he starts having all these wonderful flashbacks about the people in his life, Uncle Ben, Aunt May, and he just pushes it forward. I love that part. It kind of did a little bit of it in Spider-Man. What was the first one?
Yeah, Homecoming. He's like, get up, Spider-Man, which was actually one of my favorite parts of that film.
Yeah, I mean, that all comes from that classic Stan Lee, Steve Ditko story, man.
That was a good story. I'll be interested to see how many on your list are from that era, because there's only that's one that I do love. There's only a few that I have a lot of attachment to that are from that era. Most of the stuff is stuff that I grew up with that I really love.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I grew up with a bunch of stuff in the 90s, so I'm seriously think that no one else is gonna put some of these on their list, but they happen to be my favorites.
Are you gonna? I can't. Omar's gonna be like, my favorite issue was the issue where Peter gives in and totally gives into his spider side, and he breaks back into his own apartment. He's eating this apple or like an orange or something. It's like he's hunched over eating a piece of fruit. He doesn't want to talk. Like some really obscure reference to Spider-Man.
That's ridiculous. All right, so, what do you got?
I loved Kraven's Last Hunt. That is a classic story. That's been the one story that I've wanted for years for them to adapt into a film.
Stark.
That would be a great story, or at least elements of it. And in fact, after the last Spider-Man film, Spider-Man Homecoming, no, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
At the very end, that big bombshell reveal at the end, spoilers if somehow you haven't seen that Spider-Man movie yet, but at the very end of the film, he's outed as Spider-Man. Peter Parker's outed as Spider-Man. So I thought that would be a great way to bring in Kraven to be hunting him, to try to catch him because he's like now this wanted criminal. I thought that would be really awesome. The thing I loved about the Kraven's Last Hunt story is it was probably the first really dark comic book that I read, honestly. Because when I was a kid, I didn't read, like, I'm trying to think of when I read that. I was probably in the 4th or 5th grade. And I remember being like, especially the ending, I remember being like, holy crap. Like when Peter got buried alive for a little bit. And oh, it was good, dude. That was good. Plus the black costume, right?
Yeah.
Like, the black costume was
it's solid. Especially, oh, dude, I am the spider. I love that part.
Oh, so good. So good. Let's see. What
Death of Jim D. Wolf.
Oh, Death of John D. Wolf. That
the best part about that story is Peter David. So Peter David wrote that, right? So this is during the Spectacular Spider-Man years.
Yeah.
And it's about the death of this captain. She's a police captain, also a really good friend of Peter Parker's, who was murdered off screen. So she's not murdered in panel by this serial killer going around known as the Sin Eater. All this written by Peter David. Peter David had an introduction to the old 80s trade paperback where he talks about like how he used to collect comics, and when he was, he kind of gave them up when he was in high school, went to college, and this guy had a stack of comic books at a party, so he started reading them as you do when you go to a party in college, and you're Peter David. So he's looking at the comics, and he's like, where the hell's Gwen Stacy? And the guy was like, oh. So they started talking, and when he heard that Gwen Stacy had died, like his heart dropped. He said, he was like, why would they do that to us? Like he hadn't read comics in so many years, and he was so offended that the writers would kill a character off like that meant so much to people. So in his introduction, he talked about that, how much that impacted him, and he realized he was about to do the same thing to a character that a lot of people really enjoyed in Spider-Man. But it's one of my favorite stories. This is another one that's really dark during that era.
It is so
Black
dark,
costume,
dude.
but just like him just beating the freaking Sin Eater when he catches him, like just almost to death.
Yeah.
And that beatdown was awesome. It's only what, 4 or 5 issues, I think.
I think it's only 4 issues, long, right? Yeah. But the internal struggle that he had, that he talks about, like wanting to cross the line, like,
it's a good one, man. That's one of my favorite ones, and hopefully that stuff will one day see some kind of omnibus format.
I'm a little surprised we don't have some Peter David stuff. Can you print that for us?
I'll make sure that I get that on the. I'm gonna write that down right now.
Yeah, good. Write that down and make sure to go to the printing press after this, because I know you run the printing press as well, and make sure to get these printed up. Melanie says she read during a concert in the rain.
This is my beautiful, wonderful wife. I love her to death. I don't know how she tunes out. We were at a live concert with, like, get this though, like it's like. It's like Flavor Flav. It's one of those concerts that multiple artists perform on the same stage. So you want to stay there, right? Because you keep getting closer and closer. Smashing Pumpkins was ending it that night, but what's his name? Jerry, guy that married his cousin. What's his name? Jerry Lee Lewis. Great Balls of Fire. Great Balls of Fire, right? Like he was there. But anyway, she was reading. It was a Craven's Last Hunt in the rain because she was so bored of the concert. She's like, that's not her thing. Dude, like, that's so funny. That's my wife. All right, what else you got?
I was gonna pull up this comment, but I don't. I love Spider-Man the Animated Series. Did you watch Spider-Man the Animated Series?
Just a couple of episodes.
This is what got me into Spider-Man. I've seen every episode, but I don't recall this one, James. Spider-Man 6 Forgotten Warriors. Can you give me a quick description if you're still in the chat? I don't remember what this one was about.
But six warriors, and everybody forgot about them.
Now I remember. This was an amazing.
All right, what do you got? Because I got a lot, and we can limit ourselves to 5 each or something.
Yeah, because we could go on and on about all of this. Like, one of the things I loved was a more modern run. Well, I'm gonna toss it in anyway because I really liked it. But no, you're not. You're gonna say that.
Do it.
I know this one, so I'm gonna leave you to say this one. I'm gonna say Spider Island.
Good. Classic.
Do you remember Spider Island?
I like it, man.
That was from the Brand New Day era. That was probably my favorite big Spider-Man event until they did Spider-Verse, because the events themselves, like the introduction of the event, now everyone just gets sick of events because they just do them all the time. But when Spider Island came out, that was like really at the height of like the event popularity, when people would just buy up everything from an event. And I remember being like, Spider Island? Everyone gets Spider-Man powers? What? But
yeah, that was cool.
It was so cool, and it was so good to see. Like, you got a plot of like J. Jonah Jameson and Spider Slayers that are involved, and then everyone starts getting infected and turned into spiders. And really, finally, I think the kicker for me, the thing that made me love it the most, was when MJ finally got powers. Like, everybody in all of New York basically had spider powers except for her, and then she finally gets them at the end. And this was after. One More Day, so they weren't married. And this was, I'm sure there were a few interactions before this, but this is the first like major interaction to me that stands out in my mind as like, I felt like there was still love there. Like, after it was all over, I was like, oh, I want them to get back together so bad. Come on, just do it. Will they? Won't they? Come on, man.
And they're still, well, never mind. I don't want to spoil anything. Okay. That's a good one. I thought you were gonna go with Spider-Verse, but no. Well, Spider Island is solid.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna say, okay, let's go with a more modern run. Honestly, my wife and I both have a special place in our hearts for JMS is Coming Home. Like, that first arc, like that to me, it was my character of Peter Parker Spider-Man growing up, coming to his own, making amends with his wife, because they were not together at the time. Becoming, giving up his profession, changing his profession from boy that takes pictures of Spider-Man to now he's going to be a teacher. And I thought it was wonderful. And not only that, but we added the mythos of the spider making a prophecy that the spider that actually bit him intentionally bit him in order for him to become the new spider totem. Like all these things that he had. JMS, man, he did so many things with this old character that had been around for well over 35 years at the time, and just really shocked us with all these new things. And I loved every minute of that. Even all the way up until the other, and then since past happened, but you know.
Did you like, so you liked the Ezekiel stuff and the Spider and stuff like that? I thought that was great too.
Love it.
It's interesting that I think Spider-Man is one of the few fandoms left that really has a very passionate, like there's two real passionate fans. One is the newer fans, or not necessarily newer, but the fans who are okay with like Peter having an evolution or really like that, like Peter's life growing up, becoming a teacher. And then obviously all the stuff that happened in Brand New Day and Slott's run, where he's no longer just the kid who takes pictures of Spider-Man. But then you still have a very passionate group of people who are like, Spider-Man should only take pictures at the Daily Bugle, and he should always be down on his luck, and he should always be struggling to pay his bills. And it's interesting that as time has passed, I feel like that group has gotten smaller but louder. And so like every time something new happens, there are people who love that. So I just always find it interesting to see like which version of Spider-Man everybody loves. Because I agree with you. I really like the wider they can make the mythos of Spider-Man, the better, I think. And I love like the Spider Totem. I love all that stuff.
And Lameworks just said something at the 130 mark. So the conversation, the 9/11 issue, and keep in mind, 9/11 happened. And they decided last minute, let's write an issue. We have to, because unlike DC, and this is not throwing shade at DC, I love DC Comics. You know, Marvel is supposed to take place in your backyard. Marvel is a real place that takes place in, you know, New York City, Philly, the Great Lakes. Why did I go with the Great Lakes? Oh, the Great Lake Avengers. But you know, this is literally happening. So things that are happening in the real world, even though it's ridiculous, right? When you think about it, like as a comic book nerd, well, actually, the Juggernaut knocked down the Twin Towers back in X-Force #4, and nobody got hurt. No, but the real stuff happened, and the impact, that issue where it's that freaking splash page or spread pages, and Spider-Man's just saying, "No, dude, that was so powerful." The cover, it's an all black cover, and I know there are people out there like, oh, they're just trying to cash in on a tragic. No, I really don't think that's what it was, because I think this is just focusing on, you know, the real heroes of the people that stepped in this event, man. And to have this kid, this Spider-Man kid who grew up in New York, of course, and for God bless, man, they had not written Dr. Doom right in so many years, and that one panel, I'm like, finally somebody else understands Dr. Doom, where he's got a tear, like, and I know it's hokey, I don't care, but people forget how well how Dr. Doom is not a monster.
That was, so there's only one issue that I have CGC graded, and that's the issue. Somebody for my wedding was like, "Hey, I got you and Jen this wedding gift. I think you're really gonna like it." And we opened it up, and it was a CGC 9.8 of Amazing Spider-Man. And Jenny was like, "You got us a gift? What?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is for us, baby." He's not having it. We got some people talking about Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's good.
The animated show, it was awesome. Ended too soon.
Oh, I thought you meant the TV. I'm sorry, I thought you meant the comic. I've never
seen the comic. Was great too. I have all except for like the last 100. I really don't have any of the single issues from the Dan Slott era forward, or really from Brand New Day forward. But I have everything before that. Almost every spinoff title, all in singles, and everything back to about Spider-Man 130 to 150. Amazing 130 to 150 in singles.
What time zone are you in right now?
I'm in Central.
So you're only, so it's
an hour behind you.
So it's 12:34 right now for you, right? I'm just making sure I didn't have my times all messed up.
So Life Story. This is one that I haven't read yet, but it's been on my list. Did you like this story? By Melanie's buddy, Chip
Zdarsky. I
have you read it?
Love the story. My wife and I reviewed it on the channel. I think it's one of the best stories out there for Spider-Man. I think you would appreciate it more, however, if you had read issues of Spider-Man. It's definitely not for
Yeah.
somebody that's new to the character, right? Because there's so much thrown in there, so many Easter eggs. Mixing the Venom saga with Kraven's Last Hunt, like, and the Sin Eater and all that all together in one story, just for anybody that hasn't read Spider-Man, would be like, okay, this is cool, I guess. But for people that have read Spider-Man, that's a big deal because it was happening at that time. It was happening in the 80s, 90s. So I loved it. I loved that ending. That ending made me cry. I thought it was a beautiful book. I wish it had been 12 issues instead of just 6, but that's just my only.
I got to read it. It's on my list to read during the Spring of Spider-Man, which we're all taking part in. Omar is also taking part in Spring of Spider-Man.
Yeah, my wife was asking, is that a real thing or is that some crap that you make up?
Why can't it be both?
Because it's you. So,
a real thing?
she's gonna hashtag Spring of Spider-Man. Everyone's gonna be like, "What the heck is that?"
It's a real thing. Please do it. Change all your Melanie. Go change all the video titles on your main condition to put in Spring of Spider-Man at the end. That'd be awesome. This is the episode. I do remember that, James. Now I'm glad you said that. That was really cool. Was that the first introduction to Captain America and Red Skull? I don't remember. And that was where at the very end they touched the cosmic cube and get trapped. I think that was. I love Spider-Man the animated series. We could talk forever about Marvel animation, but that is such a great gateway into kids watching, and I mean kids reading comics. And now we have the movies, which is great. But as a kid, it was just the animated series, and that was it. So my next pick is one that is super close to my heart, and I'm going to throw this up here because Ryan also really liked it up until issue 50. But Ultimate Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man, I was in flux on my comic consumption. Like I read, when did you start collecting comics? For me, I was in the 4th grade.
I don't know. What's your definition of collecting?
I mean, just reading. Like the first time you read a comic and enjoyed it.
I was 6.
6? Okay. So you started
but then I started getting really, really into it when I went back to school. So, about 7 years old is when I my uncle would send me packages of just old comic books.
That's amazing. Good uncle. So
great. They were all in English.
Really?
And I was living in Peru at the time, so
yeah,
I would look at the pictures more, and then I would read the ones that were available in Peru, which it took us a while to translate some. So we had things like Patrulla X. I don't know. That's what the X-Men, the X-Men were, and then they put issues of New Mutants eventually in there. But,
dude, that's awesome. Well, I read the first comic book I ever got was, you probably never heard of it. It's an old Daredevil comic called The Man Without Fear by a guy named Frank Miller. I think that's how you pronounce it. You
never heard of that, man.
It was at the dollar store. My friend Oliver Hodge said, dude, check out this comic. And they had a 3-pack at the dollar store. You could go get the first 3 issues, then another pack that had the rest in there. And that was the first comic I ever read. But I really got in because of the animated series. But after a little while, I stopped reading, probably about 12 or 13, and I got more interested in stupid things like girls and I don't know, what are 13 years, video games, But I got back into comics with Ultimate Spider-Man #1. Well, I got in around issue 20, and I never picked up the first few issues.
You never picked up the first few issues?
Of Ultimate Spider-Man. I had read maybe a trade. I don't remember how I read them, but I didn't have them. And on our wedding day, I had finally gone back and picked up all but the first issue, which at the time was, I think, 200 and something. So it wasn't super expensive, but it also wasn't cheap. And my wife got me Ultimate Spider-Man #1 for a present on our wedding day, which is probably why it's my favorite comic and why another reason why I loved Ultimate Spider-Man, even though I think neither one of us are huge Bendis fans, right? You don't like Bendis either, do you?
You're putting me on the spot.
Okay, I
am not the biggest Bendis fan.
Yeah, I don't hate him. I don't hate him.
I do, however, appreciate the things that he's done for the comic industry. There's a lot of people that got into Avengers and Spider-Man and Daredevil because of Brian Michael Bendis. Gio just said Ultimate Spider-Man is #1. Now that's his opinion, and he's dead wrong, but that's okay.
But he did give his opinion.
He did give his opinion. We appreciate. That's what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say. But no, I think I appreciate a lot of the things that he did for the comic industry.
Yeah.
It's not my type of storytelling that I like, but people love Ultimate Spider-Man. As a matter of fact, Ultimate Spider-Man is one of those books that I recommend the new readers for somebody trying to get into it.
Point. It's a great modern telling of Spider-Man, and they had Ultimate Spider-Man really helped lead into Brand New Day because, and you'll know this, because they tried for years to reboot Spider-Man, going all the way back to the 80s, but then in the 90s with the Clone Saga and Ben Reilly, that was their first real major attempt at making Peter single and relatable. And obviously it was a muddled mess and it didn't really work well. And then they did Ultimate Spider-Man instead. And then eventually they did Brand New Day, with a few other spots along the way where they tried to introduce new characters like Spider-Girl, which was also awesome, by the way. Have you read the Tom DeFalco Spider-Girl?
Yeah. I push for that omnibus one day, but I don't think it will sell, sadly. It's one of the most underrated. But honestly, there's a lot of Tom DeFalco that's underrated. His Thor run, his Fantastic Four run, his Spider-Man run, and yes, Spider-Girl. Solid stories.
So good stuff. MC2, you remember MC2?
I like to forget, but she's the only one that made it out of it. I mean, we forget these things about MC2. Right? We forget about what was it? Tsunami. Remember Tsunami when they were Marvel was my gosh. Marvel was trying to push their anime titles, like we had Mystique,
Tsunami, dude.
Sentinel, Mystique, Runaways. I think was the only sole survivor out of Tsunami. But yeah,
Sentinel. Oh my gosh, I had all those comics. I forgot all about that. That's funny. Yeah, the amount of things that they've tried. His top 3 Spider-Man eras: Big Time, Stern, and Spider-Man. Yeah. So for me, well, what's another one of your favorite Spider-Man stories?
All right, I'm going to take it to an era that I don't think a lot of people mention, but I love the revenge of the Sinister Six. Not the original Sinister Six, not the return of the Sinister Six, but the revenge of the Sinister Six, which is all Eric Larson just having fun. It was like his last storyline at Marvel Comics before he went to go do Savage Dragon, and it's ridiculous, over-the-top nonsense, like... The Hulk literally joins the fight when he's like, I just came here looking for my Frisbee. And he just starts punching the bad guys. Like, so Dr. Octopus gets his adamantium arms that he got all the way back in Return of the Sinister Six.
Yeah, dude.
They try to like get Sandman to join. And he's like, I'm not joining. So they blow up his family. I was like, dang, dude, they are evil. I loved it. Spider-Man's got that classic Deathstroke look because he gets hurt and Deathstroke rebuilds an arm.
It's so awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Wait.
You have the figure, don't you?
Of course you do. Wait.
How many rooms do you have? You're so rich.
Dude, what do you mean, Rich? I can barely keep the lights on with the money this channel brings in.
There it is. Look at that. That's the one,
mean, is that not just so awesome, dude?
That is the Revenge of the Sinister Six Spider-Man. He's got a bandana for no reason at all. I love it. It's so badass.
Oh, it's so good. That was that's awesome. Spoonful of Brody says he also loved, like you and I, the marriage aspect of it. I missed the first comment, but David Codd blew Melanie's mind. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the comment was, but it must have been awesome. So we got Chris Hansen. How about a story, a new Goblin from Amazing Spider-Man 176 to 180, or the Claremont Bryce run of Marvel Team Up? The new Goblin storyline.
I love that story too. That's awesome. Solid. Yeah.
That's a great pick, Chris. That's a really good pick. I don't remember what the Marvel Team Up was.
That's the Marvel Claremont era, or the John Byrne, Chris Claremont era of Marvel Team Up. That stuff I would love to see them collect an Epic collection. I don't think they have yet. And honestly, I'd like to see a oversized hardcover of that stuff. They have enough material for
it. The Team Up stuff and the What If stuff.
Well,
I would love to see a What If omnibus.
We're getting the What If two volumes, right, of the omnibus of the classic stuff.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
That's the 60s, 70s stuff.
Yeah. I'd like to see more.
I like the 90s stuff.
Me too. That was the only stuff that I actually really read was the 90s stuff.
But it's weird because every single one of those stories from the classic What If, the original What If, has already happened. What if Jane Foster was Thor? What if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four? What if Conan was running around New Day, New York? Like,
do you think that they ever went?
It's funny to
ideas. Pull out the old What If book. Let's do some of these.
I don't know. It might be. That might be their guide, right?
That's like their guide. They call it Let's Find Out. So they pull out the What If and they're like, what if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four? Let's find out. And then they make it into an actual thing. The Let's Find Out storytelling way. I'm surprised you didn't say this book, but I'll say it.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay. I'll say it.
Go ahead.
I'll save it. If you hadn't said it by the end, I'll be shocked because I've heard you talk about it before.
Okay.
But I love Spider-Verse, dude. I mentioned at the beginning.
Yeah, I figured you did.
I love Spider-Verse.
You're such a basic.
I was on the fence in including it, but I just loved it, dude. It's if for no other reason than it spawned the movie, which is my favorite comic book movie of all time.
Wow, all time. That is a good one. It's probably it is the best Spider-Man movie of all time.
Agreed completely. It nails everybody so well. Everybody's character is so well done. It gives everybody great screen time. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but like I have a daughter and she hasn't watched the full movie, but she knows who Spider-Gwen is and she's seen some clips from it.
Yeah.
And she goes around saying that's her favorite hero. Like the fact that there's a Spider-Man related hero that my daughter likes.
Yeah, that's cool.
That does it for me.
That's what it's about, right? It's about the kids, the next generation, to get into them, to get them to read comics. That like us, we'll be readers for life. But no, baby, no William Dafoe Green Goblin. I know you love William Dafoe. Oh, you should have watched the Zack Snyder Justice League, Melanie. They added his character back in.
He was there. He was great.
Okay. Chris Hansen saying they did reprint the Team Up into Marvel Team Up Classics, which I didn't get, and I also did not get the Burn Spider-Man Omnibus
either, actually,
because it left out the Howard Mackie stuff that I wanted. Like if they had, I would have gotten it if they had done if they had said, okay, we're also going to do a Howard Mackie, John Romita Jr. Omnibus. Yeah. Then I would have been all over that.
Well, I wonder if that omnibus bad out of print now. It might still be in print. Maybe there's time if they announce.
The Burn one? I don't know.
Maybe it'll still be. Marcelo, thanks for joining, man. I appreciate this.
Be good, buddy.
You're one of my 7 views, and I really appreciate it. You're awesome. Don't go anywhere. I can't keep these lights on.
You're so humble, man. You're so humble about what you do. I want to thank you for this chance to steal some of your viewers.
You're welcome. Well, like, I sent Omar a picture last night, and it was of my YouTube analytics, and it was like the top searches to finding your channel, and 5% of my views came from people searching for near mint condition that accidentally clicked on my channel. Like they accidentally clicked on my channel. They're like, "Dang it! Oh well, I guess we'll watch what we're here. We're looking for near mint. We're looking for Omar, but
this guy is good." No, and then I gave you some suggestions of what else you can use as titles too.
You did
to kind of help you out. Did you go or did I go? I can't remember who went.
I think you just I said Spider-Verse. So it's your turn.
Okay. Spider-Man Blue.
Yeah,
it's perfect. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's short, sweet, and it gives that relationship, that extra meaning. I love it, man.
That's a good one. That's one that people should totally look at picking up. And now there's a great oversized hardcover that I don't think it's. Last I checked, it was still pretty readily available. I don't know if it is now.
The color one, the omnibus. I thought it was an omnibus. Was it not an omnibus? I don't have it.
It's confusing because it's listed as an omnibus, but I can confirm it does not have omnibus on the spine. It is an OHC. So therefore, I will be getting a dust jacket for it that says omnibus. Mm-hmm. Because if it doesn't say omnibus, I don't want it. Get out of here.
Oh, man. You're one of those, huh?
One of those people.
You're so snooty. Okay.
David Codd. Look at what David Codd throwing shade, man. That's hurtful, David.
I love that people give you the same garbage I do.
Oh man,
that's good. That's good.
So, a Spider-Man story that I really liked, but is well, I don't. It's a lot of issues. It's a saga, but it's the Hobgoblin stuff. It's the original Stern Hobgoblin stuff.
I would put just Roger Stern Spider-Man. That would have been mine. That omnibus is phenomenal for that reason.
It's. Can we agree? Like, it's definitely the best Spider-Man omnibus that's out right now. Out of all the Spider-Man omnibus you could go pick up, it's by far the best.
It's got my favorite stories in there. Now, is it new reader friendly? I think JMS's Spider-Man is a little bit better at getting new readers to get into the character, because you know, for the first 4 or 5 issues, Stern is sitting there like trying to wrap up loose ends with the previous writer, and then you get his spectacular stuff in there. But man, the Kid that Collected Spider-Man, the Juggernaut storyline, once you get into those, it's one thing after the other that you will not stop reading.
That's probably, out of all of the stories he wrote, the most, like, the Hobgoblin stuff is some of my favorite. I love the Hobgoblin. I love the Hobgoblin in the animated series. The throwback to that, as Mark Hamill did the voice, which is awesome. He did the voice of the Hobgoblin in that series.
I didn't know that. I didn't watch it, though. I didn't watch it.
Very cool. So he basically did like a very slightly different version of the Joker voice from Batman the Animated Series, but it was really awesome. But I think the story that was the most impactful, which is the one that I thought you were going to say, which I know you love because I've heard you talk about, is The Kid Who Collects Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That one gets every time, man. That ending.
Dude, if that doesn't just hit you right in the heart, like,
you don't have a heart.
So good.
And she does. She loves the Hobgoblin.
Which version of the Hobgoblin?
The one that wait. You don't talk about spoilers, do you?
Yeah, you could say it. Everyone earmuffs.
No. You're gonna get me kids. Omar ruins the Hobgoblin identity. Well, the thing though is that the Hobgoblin identity wasn't even fully revealed until the Hobgoblin Live story arc, which is in the 90s.
Yeah.
So yeah, my wife likes the Demo Goblin. She get like
the Demo Goblin. Wait. I'm not gonna go get it.
But
got
another one.
I got the Demo Goblin. It's an awesome figure too.
Don't get me. I don't want Spider-Man. I gotta stick to X-Men. I gotta stick to X-Men, dude.
Yeah, stick to X-Men. You don't need all these. Look at this. Nobody wants this.
Eric Larson did. Eric Larson would love that.
Oh man. So Taylor Brown is convinced I'm gonna get absolutes, but I just got to go on record and say he's absolutely wrong.
How have you not bought any absolutes?
I only have so much space, and so I either read it.
Stop buying 300 figures.
I either buy it in an omnibus format, or I read it digitally. One of the two. That's all I have space for.
Okay.
Having Omar on is the equivalent of putting Wolverine on the cover in the 90s. Dude,
no,
that's probably the best compliment you've ever gotten.
That's can you highlight that forever? Just leave it on.
This honestly is the best compliment I've ever heard you get.
That's awesome.
I'm so mad right now. And
if I'm Wolverine, what does that make you? What comic am I guest starring in? Are you?
Yeah, that's it.
You're slapstick. Or like maybe Sleepwalker or Terror.
As long as I'm not Cyclops, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with anybody but Cyclops.
I'm trying to think of all the comics that they put Wolverine in to make the sales go up.
I'm She-Hulk. I'll be She-Hulk.
No, She-Hulk was actually selling better than Super Squad D.
Wow. Guys, it was fun. Thanks for
Oh man! Oh, a spoonful of Brody. He's saying Tom Taylor's Friendly Spider-Man was a fun short story. My wife loved. She reviewed, I think, both of the trade paperbacks. There's only 2 trades. She loved those 2 trades.
I want to read that digitally during the spring of Spider-Man, which is a real thing.
No, he's not New Warriors. Do not compare Tyler to New Warriors.
I'm New Warriors. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
And then Chris said Speedball. Okay, I'll give you a Speedball. Yes, that's Speedball. You are.
It could be a lot worse, honestly.
You are wired and just bouncing. Let me show you this figure all over the place.
It could be a lot worse. Have you seen these Power Ranger figures? Because they're awesome.
I have. You got me into those.
Oh, dude. I forgot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I got you into the Transformers again, and you got me into the Power Ranger stuff. It's how we started talking again about stupid figures. I don't even know how it happened. Oh, I made the mistake of asking, hey, I just want I like the comics. I didn't grow up with the show. I'm weird. I just like I have all the Megazords because I'm also weird and into giant robots, but Hashtags have to start
Absolutely. Hashtag Spring of Spider-Man. You can co-opt and use it all you want.
I don't think that's what she's talking about.
How much did we all love J.J. Abrams Spider-Man 2? Hayden, why would you say that? This is about to be a best of show.
Did you like that? No, I don't know. I mean, people probably liked it. I know Melanie reviewed it before it came out, the trade paperback, and she was like, should I give it a rating? Because I didn't really like this story. And I think most people did not like the story. I felt bad for what's his name's kid though, J.J. Abrams' kid. It was like his first gig. Now everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, you just got this gig because your dad is J.J. Abrams."
Yeah, it must be terrible having a rich, famous, successful father who can give you everything in the world. I feel bad for his kid too. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it sounded like sarcasm a little bit.
No. Howard has forgotten how many lives. This is a lie. Can confirm. I have a list, and it brings me joy to read it every day.
How do you think he affords this big house with all these? He's got a room full of figures. He's built it on the blood, sweat, and tears of all the people he does taxes for, and tells them to go and buy more. Because I'm sure y'all have heard it. Because he's gonna hook you up. Right?
I'm gonna get you a huge refund with the caveat that you're gonna have to go spend X amount of dollars on figures. Yeah, Darkhawk. I think that's right. I don't know. I've not read any Darkhawk. I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Darkhawk is?
I mean, I know who he is. I've got the toy, but I don't. I've never read the.
Do you really have the toy?
Yeah, there's a Darkhawk figure.
Oh, I know that. Why do you have the toy of a figure you don't know anything about? Just out of curiosity. I'm not hating on you.
Why wouldn't I get the toy? Darkhawk. He looks cool. No.
Good argument.
Because these Build-A-Figures, they get me every time. They'll be like, hey, here's 6 figures you love, or 5 figures you love, a Build-A-Figure you can't live without, and then Darkhawk, and he comes with the leg of the Build-A-Figure. And it's like...
That's how they're getting me with Sauron, dude. I don't want 3 Deadpools. I just want...
Dude.
I got Omega Red Bishop, and who else? I can't remember. 3 figures that I want. The Build-A-Figure that I need.
And then they have all new Wolverine. It was like Tom Taylor's X-23 version of Wolverine, and then they're like, but Deadpool in a yellow X-Men outfit. Now Deadpool in a pirate outfit.
Why do I need that many Deadpool? I get that everybody loves the guy, but goodness, like they have like every line has his own Deadpool. There wasn't there just a Deadpool wave? Just Deadpool?
Yeah, dude. Oh, Lady Deadpool. There was a bunch of Deadpool figures. Deadpool is like Wolverine. I feel like they'll just throw him in. No, the worst is Captain America or Iron Man, because they'll be like, this wave or short one figure. Put Captain America in a stealth suit and toss him in there. Change the colors on the exact same Iron Man figure that's already been released. Stick him in there. It'll be fine. Every time.
Nice.
Every time.
Nice.
All right, so we're going to wrap this video up here. Do you have one more pick?
I have a lot of picks.
Yeah, keep going.
It's really difficult for me to, if I have to wrap it up into just one.
As long as you don't say the night Gwen Stacy died.
Why, is that one of your favorites?
Well, it's just mean. Why would you love to see one of the most beloved characters? Why would you want to see the end of the Silver Age, man? Why would you do that?
I'm going to go, I got it. This is another one from the 90s. Like, I think most people would probably say the Venom storyline is one of their favorites, but I'm going to go with the Carnage story.
You suck.
I didn't say wait, were you going to use Carnage or you weren't going to use
Maximum Carnage?
You can have Maximum. I'm not talking about Maximum Carnage. They sold out by then. I'm talking about Carnage. Like Cletus Cassidy coming out of the, like, they were kind of hinting at this in 347, 348, and then in 360, 361, 362, and 363, we got full Carnage. And dude, it was so awesome. He's just he's like the Joker, except he has these abilities to murder people because he loves murdering.
He's so terrifying.
Like his first line when he kills his very first victim. He's like, why are you doing this? And he's like, because I can. That's his answer. That's dark. That's messed up. I loved it. I'm like, I thought Spider-Man needed a villain like that. Whereas Venom just hates Peter Parker Spider-Man. He doesn't want to, I mean, for some reason the toys thought he ate brains, but whatever. He doesn't want to go and crush little girls' skulls or things like that for fun. Carnage, on the other hand, had those capabilities and also was a serial killer. Dude. So I thought it made for a better villain.
He is I agree totally. He's super terrifying as like in a different way than Spider-Man had ever had up to that point. Because you think of like who are Spider-Man's greatest foes? The big three, I would say.
Stiltman.
Oh my gosh.
White Rabbit.
Wait. I'll be right back. Let me go get
Stiltman. They make a Stiltman.
Oh no, I really will be right back. Now you.
I didn't know, dude. You're a fan of Omega Red. Your chair. That's cool.
This is Darkseid. No, we've already talked. You suck. We talked about this before the show.
What? That's ridiculous.
Look at this. So here's what they did. Here's what was genius about this figure. They put an army builder. And army builders, do you know what an army builder is? It's like a minion character that you would want to get a lot of and build an army. It's what they call an army builder character. So they put a generic ninja in the pack, okay? Mm-hmm. The generic ninja his Build-A-Figure piece is leg extenders. So I have 5 ninjas. They're still in box. I'm waiting to take a picture with them. I'm going to open them. That means I can raise this guy 5 times more this Stiltman than he is. He's going to the moon, baby. I'm bringing Stiltman to the moon.
That's the stupidest figure.
It's so great.
My wife, on the other hand, said that's the best figure.
Thank you. I mean,
so does Lameworks. Lameworks is also saying that's actually amazing.
This is amazing. This is a good question. I think we both need. I think someone should send Omar and Alf.
I already have. James has sent me enough Alf stuff.
I think you need more. I don't think you can have.
I have enough
Alf stuff. So I'd say the big 3 villains for Spider-Man, right? So I would say Green Goblin.
Okay.
Doc Ock and Venom would be like the top 3. I would think. I think of when I think of Nemesis. How about you? Who do you think?
Green Goblin for sure.
Yeah, Green Goblin's number 1, definitely.
Man, I'm trying to think of characters. I wasn't prepared for this question because this is what happens with me. I actually take too much time to think about these things like it's a real life and death situation.
Well, there's a lot of characters to think through. I've thought about this for a long time.
Joe Quesada. Hate Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire, Joe Quesada, Topher Grace, and
Topher Grace. That's a good one. Man, I don't know. I gotta go with the Green Goblin, Carnage. Yeah. I think Carnage is a bigger villain than Venom, but that's okay.
Carnage is definitely up there.
Venom is a lethal protector. At one point, he's gonna come and team up with Spider-Man, and they have many times.
Dude, the Luke Cates run of Venom is just amazing.
Yeah,
and it leads to absolute carnage. I do think that in terms of unique villains, Carnage is truly just the evil one. Like Green Goblin's pretty evil.
Obviously, he's not that unique, right? We've seen he's almost one-dimensional if you think.
But for Spider-Man, what other villains fill that role? Other major villains? I think you're right. I think really it's just Carnage is the big, like just psychotic.
Man, this is
death, destruction.
So villain. Tough. So tough. I can't put who the third one is. If I had to make a 3. You know what? I got you stumped me, man. Because it's so difficult to choose just 3 characters.
So many good ones. There is.
I wasn't expecting that.
Stiltman. It's Stiltman. It's always Stiltman.
Spider-Man's greatest foe is the ghost of Uncle Ben because he'll never defeat it. It's true. Or the burglar, right? The burglar, Kingpin, David Codd. He has leased out the Kingpin to Daredevil.
Yeah, no doubt.
Spider-Man's greatest enemy is his own abandonment issues. Wow, that's deep, Hayden.
Hayden, oh my gosh. Yeah, here we go. And James Cameron. That's really the movie.
James Cameron was going to make a great Spider-Man movie with Tom
Cruise.
Did you
fall for that in the Wizard magazine when they released it?
What kid did not believe that?
I brought that to school and showed all my friends. I brought it to school and showed every one of my friends.
The week that book came out, we had a sleepover at my friend Matt's house, and that's all we talked about. We're like, we were like, guys, this is the guy that made Terminator 2. This is going to be the best thing. Because one of our friends was like, there's no way they can pull off the swinging. It's not going to look realistic. And Matt and I were like, this is the guy that made water come to life in the abyss. And the Terminator 2. And yeah, it never came.
Never came. It was tragic, dude. It was just awful tragic.
That's why I don't believe any movie news. I don't care what it is.
James Cameron ruined every movie news.
Well, honestly, look how long he talked about Battle Angel Alita, Battle Angel Alita. He talked about Battle Angel Alita for over a decade, almost 2 decades, and finally, all he did was just produce the movie.
Okay,
and
but
although he did say the sweetest thing ever, he was like, all these years, I thought I was waiting for technology to catch up with me so I can make my vision come true and make Battle Angel Alita. Yeah. In reality, I was just waiting for her, and he was talking about the actress, and I was like, "Oh, that's a father." That really hit me. I was like, "That's adorable." I like.
Well, now I feel bad about making fun of him. Thanks for humanizing these people.
This is what I like to do. Next up, I can humanize Joe Quesada.
But you can try to humanize Brian Michael Bendis next, aren't you? You little punk.
I don't. I think he's a wonderful human being. Just because I don't like him, like I can't hate on him.
He had a terrible run there health-wise.
Oh, yeah.
He really almost died, which is really sad.
Yeah, we almost lost him.
Well, I'm gonna finish with Maximum Carnage, since we're on the Carnage thing, because that was, again, maybe not the best story. These are just stories that are our favorites because we have some type of attachment or nostalgia for them. And that was the first major crossover that I ever read as a kid. Yeah. So it came out when I was like in the 5th grade, I think. And I remember going and trying to find all the issues that came, like all the different issues across all the different 4 Spider-Man series or however many there were, of being like, ooh, I'm missing Spectacular, whatever issue it was. And finally piecing it all together and reading it, it was awesome, dude. It was such a big deal for me. And then I also had the Super Nintendo game. Do you remember that game? They released a
Spider-Man? Yeah, everybody remembers that. Which one did you have?
Super cool.
Did you have
the red cartridge?
That's the first video game I remember having a limited edition.
Yeah.
Before that video game, I don't remember video games coming out with limited editions. I remember that coming out with like a big box. It had
so cool.
a T-shirt and had all these other things with it. And I thought that was a really cool way of marketing a video game that I never had heard of limited editions until that game. But yeah, man, that's a good way to send it off. I didn't really like it. I think you're wrong, but that's okay. It went on way too long. It could have been 5 issues. I would have been good with that.
Well, it's mostly nostalgia, but I agree. It wasn't the best story, but I still loved it. Childhood memories, man. Childhood nostalgia can look over a lot of bad storytelling and a lot of.
Oh, I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you like New Warriors and Darkhawk.
You are an idiot because those stories are awesome. I can't believe you
actually just got the omnibus because you made me.
You're making volume 2 happen.
I bought the omnibus solely because you told me to. And if you tell me to buy Avengers: The Crossing, I'll buy it tomorrow.
I made a retro view of that video, and I said, now I love this story, but I completely understand everyone that hates it, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of people that hate it. I just gave what the story was about. Everybody should make up their own mind. Just because I love it does not mean everybody should.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a comment from a man who has 40,000 subscribers and has gotten a ton of hate mail for his opinions over his time on YouTube. This is clearly a comment that somebody who sent him, you said I was going to like this, and I spent my hard-earned money. I spent my college fund on this, and I hate it. It's your fault.
No, I like to be proactive. I don't like to react to things. So just in case, I like to make a disclaimer. This is just my opinion.
Nobody gives 2 craps about what happens at Super Squad D, so I can say whatever I want. I can say whatever.
Until you get that first sponsorship, and then you're like, this is Super Squad D, brought to you by Clearasil or whatever.
Clear and under control. Clearasil.
See, you remember.
Brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Or I can take off my hat and be like, L'Oreal Paris, because you're worth it.
Yeah, I will tattoo something across my chest if I have to.
Omar and I had a great conversation about what our price point would be for just like in general things. And we both agreed that
it's not gonna be a lot.
It's pretty low.
It's literally like it's the cost of half of one of these. That's how much it would be.
L'Oreal Paris is like, hey, look, we love your channel. We love what you're doing. We're gonna send you 3 figures for free if you'll just promote L'Oreal Paris for a month. Done. What do you want to say? Well,
before they even say anything, you're gonna be sponsored by the No Shave Shave Club.
Raid Shadow Legends. Go download Raid Shadow Legends today and play right now.
Can you imagine me in front, like in the middle of an overview? Oh, and this guy over here is this gargoyle from the New Defenders. But wait, did you know that you could save money on shaving every
$1 Shave Club a day?
Yeah, man. Make a 10-minute ad out of a 5-minute video. That's life.
Like awkward transitions or sketches. Like, look at this is our favorite version of Peter Parker, but notice how he's a little unshaven. What can he use, Omar? Well, he can use this.
And I'm lazy. I'll use that same clip even though I'm talking about an X-Men omnibus. And look at Peter Parker. People are gonna be like, what?
Just totally out of context. Like, you're reviewing Batman the Damned, and you're like, look at Peter Parker.
That's a 5-minute sketch right there. Oh yeah, my wife's like, don't forget fresh balls. Right? That's another one. And speaking of the master of magnetism, do you know how you can keep your balls fresh?
I don't know why people have not invested in our clearly well-written marketing campaigns. One of my goals for this year, speaking of advertising, is just one. And I haven't told my wife this, but I'm gonna let you all in on a little secret. Just keep it to yourself. I've discovered that for like $100, I could get a 15 to 30-second commercial at like 2 a.m. on our local public broadcast channel here. And so I'm going to make a commercial that's totally just about my wife. And it's going to be really like, I haven't decided what I'm going to do in it. And I'm going to have it air one time if I can do it for like $100 in the middle of the night. And I'm going to record it and then show her just as a total practical joke. Like, I'm thinking I might just read a biography like Jennifer Blunt was born in 1986 on September 30th. It's just me reading facts about my wife. Like, nothing. So if anyone's awake,
anything sweet? I thought you were doing something sweet.
No, not at all. Do you know me at all? It's just going to be me reading facts about my wife. So then anyone who watched it's like, what did I just watch? Why was there a guy reading facts about some random girl?
I always think about like, because the ads on like newspapers are cheap, right? Like you can get it
cheap, dude.
So like people are always like buying this place for like, congratulations, Eddie, you graduated. Good job. You're 35 years old and finally graduated high school. Whatever, right? I live in Kentucky, so.
I live in Mississippi. I haven't seen that.
I've seen that. I had 5 years to Eddie's age then. So I always wanted to put like, just go to YouTube near mint condition, like an ad for near mint condition. So like an old 80-year-old lady's looking at her newspaper trying to click on the hyperlink. Just put the hyperlink on the newspaper ad. I think that would do it.
Taylor, you're acting like you don't know me at all.
Yeah, you're using this opportunity to not do what we would expect you to do.
Exactly. I like to subvert expectations. What can I say? Well, dude, thanks for being on the channel. I know we've gone on for a while. Thanks, you guys, for hanging in there and coming to see Omar because I put his face on the thumbnail. That was really – I put his face on the thumbnail, and I should have changed the title to Near Mint Conditions Best Spider-Man Stories of All Time.
Clickbait. That's clickbait.
That way, instead of 5% of my views, it could be like 35% of my views could be people looking for you. I'm just going to go I'll do all the hashtags in the description of Near Mint Condition. I appreciate you coming on the channel off your high perch in YouTube heaven, coming down to us mere mortals.
Stop.
To be on our low rated channel. And look, if anybody's unhappy about what was said today, or if you want an omnibus printed,
I'm going to stop you right
Near Mint Condition, we look forward to your letters. We look forward to all your letters. Hey, in fact, I think I just hired you as my PR person. Then you're gonna look at all the emails. I have a PO box. If you're really upset about some of the stuff I said, why don't you tell them where my PO box is, Omar? It's in Kentucky somewhere.
I'm not gonna give them my PO box with all the garbage you've said on your show. You know how many toy groups hate you?
Oh, geez. All right, guys. Anyway, that's it for the video. Next time Omar comes back, we're going to talk more about toys because I want to have him on once he opens these figures to see what his favorite figures are.
There's going to be, oh, look at this, man. Melanie, look at
That is awesome.
Look at her hair. That's what Tyler said. What a dork.
Dude, her hair looks legit. I'm sorry. L'Oreal Paris.
You're so ready. You're so ready for that, aren't you?
Oh, if you hadn't done it already, like and subscribe, rate, leave a comment, preferably an angry one. Omar, as if people don't know, where could they find you?
Near mint condition. I don't have my thing with you. Near mint condition. Thank you.
And you can find me on Instagram if you like toy photography. If you like mediocre toy photography, at SSD Toys. If you like mediocre posting about random stuff, it's at Super Squad D Live. And like and subscribe. We'll see you next time on Super Squad D, where the D stands for Dan Slott Omnibus that Omar has now promised he's going to get printed immediately.
It's pretty quick and witty. I like that.
Yippee! Yippee! That's me and Omar. We're jumping.
Oh my God.